Clump of Lilac. As soon as his wife opened the door, Nikolai Yevgrafovich Almasov, nicknamed Kolya, strode into the study without removing his overcoat or cap. His wife saw his gloomy face and understood that something unfortunate had happened. Almasov, the poor young officer, had just returned from the staff college. Today he had shown his professor the last and the most difficult piece of practical work, a local map. Until now his examination had gone well, but only his wife knew the work he had to do. From the beginning, his entrance into the college had seemed impossible. For 2 years he had tried to get through the examination, and it was only at the third attempt that he had succeeded. Without his wife, he would never have found enough energy and would have given up. But Vera helped to keep his spirits high. She had learnt to meet every failure with a clear, almost gay countenance. She had gone without any luxuries in order to surround him with the modest comfort which was necessary for a man who was doing brain work. She copied his papers, drew his plan, read for him, and was generally of great help. "Kolya, was your work unsatisfactory?" He shrugged his shoulders and made no reply. "Kolya, have they rejected your map? Please tell me. We can talk things over." Almasov turned to his wife and began in a heated, irritated manner that people use when they feel that injustice has been done to them. "Well, if you wish to know, they rejected it." Angrily he kicked the case containing the plans. "All this rubbish may be thrown into the fire now. This is the end of college for me. In a month I shall be back in the regiment, and in disgrace too. All because of that cursed Spot." "What Spot, Kolya? I don't understand." Vera sat down on the arm of his chair. "What Spot?" she repeated softly. "Oh, that ordinary spot of green. You know how I worked until 3 o'clock last night to get the map finished? The plan is well drawn and coloured. They all say that. Well, as I was sitting last night, completely exhausted, my hand trembled, and I made a spot on it. Such a thick spot! I tried to rub it off and made it worse. I sat thinking and wondering what to do, and then I thought I would draw a clump of bushes over the spot. It looked very fine when it was done. The spot was quite covered. I took it to the professor today." "Ah, yes," he said. "How did you get these bushes here?" I should have told him there and then how it had happened. He might only have laughed. But I said to him, "But there is a clump of bushes there." "No," he replied. "I know the place very well as the palm of my own hand. There are no bushes there." There were a good many officers present, and a long discussion followed. The professor said, "If you are so sure of the clump, we must ride over tomorrow and inspect the place. I will show you that you were either very careless or drew the plan from a map." "But why is he so sure that there is no clump of bushes there?" Vera asked. "Because for 20 years he has known that place better than his own bedroom, and because he knows his subject better than anyone else in the world. In the end, they will all know that I lied." Husband and wife sat silently thinking. Suddenly, Vera exclaimed, "Kolya, I have an idea. We must go this minute. Get ready quickly." Kolya frowned. "Don't do anything foolish, please." "I'm not going to do anything foolish," Vera said, stamping her foot. "I don't ask you to go and apologize, but if those stupid bushes are not there, we must go and plant some at once." "Plant bushes?" Almasov opened his eyes wide. "Yes, plant them. If you told a lie, we must put it right. Get ready, quickly. Give me my hat and coat, and my umbrella." While he was getting these things, Vera was quickly opening all the drawers of the tables, pulling out baskets and boxes, and emptying them on the floor. Earrings, only rubbish. They won't give anything for them. And this ring with its expensive stone, we must get it back again somehow. In 5 minutes, all her treasures were gathered together in her bag. "Come along," she said with a last look around. "But it's getting dark," Almasov protested, "and it's 5 miles away, and in any case it won't work." "Nonsense. Come along." They went first to the pawnbroker's. He was accustomed to the sight of misfortune and examined their things calmly, and for so long that Vera began to lose patience. He offered her 3 rubles for the diamond in her ring. "It is a real stone," Vera protested. "It is worth 37 rubles at least." The man closed his eyes with a look of weary indifference. But another of her treasures was valued highly, and altogether they managed to get 25 rubles, which was more than enough. Then the Almasovs drove to the gardener's house. He had just sat down to supper with his family, and was not too pleased when the two visitors arrived with their mysterious request.
"I'm sorry," he said, "but I can't send laborers out so late at night and so far. If tomorrow will do, then I am at your service."
There was only one thing to do, and that was to tell the gardener the whole story about the unlucky spot. At first he listened without much interest, but when Vera reached the point when she had thought to plant the bushes, he took more notice and smiled.
"Well, there is nothing else to be done," he said when she had finished. "What kind of bushes do you want to plant?"
They decided on a clump of lilac. Almasov tried to persuade Vera to return home, but she was determined to accompany him. She only went home when she was quite sure that the new bushes could not be distinguished from the rest. On the following day, Vera could not sit at home and went out to meet her husband. When he was still some way off, she noticed his vigorous walk and knew that the story of the bush had ended happily. In fact, although Almasov was covered with dust and overcome with fatigue, his face shone with victory. "It was fine," he called out in answer to his wife's anxious look. "We got to the clump of bushes, and the professor looked and even tore a leaf off and bit it."
"What kind of plant is this?"
he asked. "I don't know, Your Excellency," I said. Then he turned to me and extended his hand.
"I am sorry, Ensign. I must be getting old to have forgotten these bushes."
"He's a very nice man and very clever. It seems a shame to have deceived him. He is one of our best professors. His knowledge is simply wonderful, and he is marvelous with maps and plans." But it was not enough for Vera to hear the story once. She made her husband tell it again and again, making sure he left out none of the details. Almasov had never dined with such appetite as on that day. After dinner, when Vera went into her husband's study with a glass of tea, husband and wife burst out laughing at the same time and looked at each other. "Why are you laughing?" Vera asked. "And why are you?" "Tell me first, and I'll tell you afterwards." "Oh, it was only nonsense. I was thinking about the lilac bush. And you?" "I too was thinking of the little bush. Lilac will always be my favorite flower now."